Just let me know when we're live. Well, good evening, racing fans. Welcome to the Knoxville Powderpuff here on virtual Knoxville night number 3, championship night as it is. The ladies going to do a little racing here to kick off the night. They've been practicing for about 20-25 minutes and now out on the racetrack for the next 5 minutes to do their qualifying session. They'll get 5 minutes, 2 laps to be their qualifying time, and then we'll go into tonight's 30-lap feature for the Powderpuffs, the ladies of the infield. I'm Tony Bachhoven alongside, who's not actually alongside, but he's in Omaha, I believe. Chris Krug joining us tonight. Cruggy boy, are you with us?
I am here, Tony. Great to be here. Thanks for having me on tonight. Not our typical broadcast view for sure, but it's going to be a fun night of racing, no doubt about it.
Sure is. We've got, I'll kind of go through some of the cars as you're watching here. The cars out doing their qualifying attempt right now. The ladies are mostly driving their husband's cars, so to speak, or boyfriends, and so we'll kind of work our way through it. Taryn Johnson will be driving Matthew's car tonight. Alyssa McCarl will be behind the wheel. Alyssa Lovejoy will be driving Austin Fila's car. Mandy Meintzer, wife of Bobby. Brittany Wilson, wife of Brock Wilson. Brock is our producer for the Dirt Vision broadcast on Saturday night. Peyton Delansky driving Carson McCarl's car. Michelle Layer driving Christopher Layer's car. J.C. Wren driving Jamie Ball's 5J. Maggie Levitt will be behind the wheel of Kate Higday's car. Aaron Moore driving Caden Moore's car. I believe that's her brother, not her husband or boyfriend. Lexi Mills driving Logan's car. Marissa Facinto driving Michael Facinto's car. Sheridan Weldon behind the wheel of Parker Price Miller's car. Amber Gardner will be wheeling Ronnie Gardner's car. Jordan Swindell will be driving Kevin's car tonight. Kendall Snyder will be driving Stu Snyder's car. Lauren Kennedy will be wheeling Thomas's car, and Katie Schilling behind the wheel of Tony Schilling's car, and Mackenzie Ramey will be wheeling Kevin Ramey's car. So getting ready to go here tonight. Of course, tonight's Powderpuff brought to you by Tjaden Automotive, our presenting sponsor of Knoxville Regular Virtual Night number 3, iRacing, Knoxville Raceway, Pushing the Cushion Productions, and several fine sponsors that are putting up some loot tonight. $100 to win, and a large Corleano's pizza to tonight's winner. Krug, I think we ought to maybe get a large Corleano's for each of us.
I would agree with that.
Some ice cold beer to go along with it.
I am down for that, no question about that. I know pizza hasn't been around here for me a little while yet. It's been a couple of weeks since I had a good slice of pizza, so I am totally down for that one.
And Caden Moore just correcting me, Aaron is indeed his wife, so that shame on me for not knowing that was his wife. I just didn't want people to think that Caden's sister was, his wife. But anyway, I know the Beeve is watching on. Dennis Moore Jr. will be probably standing right behind Caden telling him what to do. I don't know if you saw, Krug, but Dennis Moore Jr. was on the cover of the latest Speedway Motors catalog.
No, did not see that. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
See that.
So again, about 3 minutes remaining here in Powderpuff qualifying. Going to get 5 minutes to turn their best 2 laps. And then that will work us into tonight's qualifying session. About 1 minute left to go as it is. Everybody wrapping up their qualifying time here. This is Brittany Wilson on the track now. Looks like a beautiful night at virtual Knoxville. Nice crowd in the stands, getting ready to go here for the Powderpuff. I know there's been a few Powderpuff races the last couple of weeks, and tonight is the big one. This is the one everyone wants to be a part of. So glad to have everybody involved in the Powderpuff presented by Tjaden Automotive. Cars are making their way down to the grid, Krug. We'll be bringing them out for 30 laps for tonight's feature event.
Could be an exciting race here tonight, of course, for sure, and it'll be a fun one to watch later on this evening as these cars get ready to go. And of course, Tony, I think this is something that I was thinking earlier that we could possibly maybe do if all goes well here tonight. Maybe get a real one going during nationals up at Slideways. Then
I was gonna say when you were talking about that, I thought, Craig, you're drunk. There's nobody gonna let all these women get in those cars during the nationals. What's the matter with you? But you're right. Up at Slideways, that indeed would be a great thing. Brock Wilson, our Dirt Vision producer, his wife Brittany is racing tonight. Brock was the Nationals champion out at Slideways this year. I think the trophy was just darn near as tall as the trophy they give down in Victory Lane on Saturday night. All right, well, the cars are ready. The drivers have made their way down to the staging lane. Here is tonight's lineup for the Tjaden Automotive Powderpuff feature. We'll line them up like this as they get ready to roll onto the racetrack. Starting on the inside of row number 1. I'll be giving you the lineup here in just a moment. So you should be seeing the lineup here in just a second. Well, I may have to get out of this to get to the Discord view because I can't seem to see them right here. So let me hop out of here real quick. See, at this point, race fans, if we were in the press box, I'd be screaming at Krug right now about giving me a damn lineup.
Get the lineup over here. Get it over here. Where's it at?
All right, here we go. Here's your lineup. Starting on the inside of the front row, Alyssa Lovejoy in the 02 car. Outside of the front row will be Katie Schilling in the 22. Row 2 on the inside, third starting spot is Amber Gardner in the car number 68, and to her outside, Taryn Johnson in the 23 car. So we're going to start it again. Now, there we go, row 2. But we're going to get the cars lined up here in a second, and then we'll kind of read them off once we get the cars out onto the racetrack to give you a bit of an official lineup. iRacing is not appreciative of our Powderpuff lineup tonight like we are. I'm going to have to try to figure out another way to see this.
Lori and Scoring not getting the lineup to us here tonight, Tony. So
see, I'd be leaning back in my chair right now, looking over to the right at the scorers to give me a lineup.
Can we get a lineup, please?
So just working through a couple bugs here real quick. We'll just pace the cars a little bit here before we get started. Green flag is coming out here for the Powderpuff. We'll get you caught up on the lineup here in just a moment. I've got nothing. So Alyssa Lovejoy is leading the way here in that bright green car. Good battle there for the lead. A couple cars duking it out there with Alyssa down the back straightaway. Now they're getting into lap traffic. This could be interesting as they dice through the lap cars. Lovejoy continues to lead. JC Wren up into the 5th spot. Meitzer, I believe, is running 9th. Alyssa McCarl 10th. Aaron Moore in the 13th spot. Maggie Levitt in 14th, I believe.
And Tony, you mentioned now as Lovejoy continues to lead, looking really smooth on the top side of the racetrack, puts that right rear against that cushion. Really been up top all day long, as the top 4 drivers all seem to be up on top side of the racetrack right now.
Jordan Swindell moving the Swindell Speed Labs 39 up into the number 2 spot. That's the white and black car there, right behind Alyssa Lovejoy's bright green car. Jordan trying to close in on her down the back straightaway. Good race for the lead here in just a moment as the leaders are catching traffic in turns 3 and 4. Car spinning. Oh boy, right in front of the... And I've lost it again.
As now Jordan Swindell trying to close that gap a little bit over there in turn number 3 and 4. Lovejoy still holding faithful to the top side of the racetrack. And now that was going to be, I believe, that was your second place car into the wall exiting turn number 4. Lovejoy going to check out from the field. As Jordan Swindell, I believe that was her that got into the wall.
Craig, you take it for here just a minute. I'm going to have to hop out and try to reload something here. So you just take it away.
That sounds good. We'll hang on right here around turn number 2 in the back straightaway across the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, as Lovejoy has pretty much led since the drop of the green flag. Again, $150 now going to tonight's winner, plus a pizza as well. And no problem for your leader since the drop of the green flag. Laps continue to wind down. We'll see if we get the results to show again one more time here as the results board one more time, and we'll see our rundown of our top field. Lex Mills making her way into the top 5 now in that 5th place spot. And Lovejoy dodging traffic all over the place. 2 cars in the lead lap here. Man, 2 cars right in front of her had rolled around, and she just avoids chaos to hang on to that lead. Can she do it again? Lap car in front again. She'll go to the top side of the racetrack in turn 3. Around turn number 4 as the laps wind down. That may be the 3rd or 4th car she's dodged here to hang on to this lead that she's got. Again, pretty much led every single lap here tonight. And now trouble for your leader in turn 3. She goes up and over, and we'll see if she hangs on to that lead. She does for right now. Woodward in 2nd. Might have a chance to close the gap here. Lovejoy. Now Alyssa McCarl in that 2nd place spot. Over in turn. As now Alyssa McCarl now shows the way. She'll take over the lead. Your first lead change of the night. Lovejoy going to try and answer right back, but having some problems closing that gap here. The laps continue to wind down. And your Powderpuff race again, $150 on the line. Kendra Jacobs dropping in $50 late in this one. So Lovejoy, I believe, now back to the as Alyssa McCarl rides in that 2nd place spot. I think we have Tony Bachhoven back with us here tonight. Problems for McCarl. She wrecks. Chaos all over in this one, the Powderpuff race. Again, we had 1 lead change so far this evening. I believe Lovejoy is still your leader over in turn number 2. McCarl, we'll see if she can hang on to that 2nd place spot. We only had 3 cars in the lead lap at one point in time here, so we'll see if she hangs on to that 2nd place spot. Aaron Moore, Lex Mills, your top 3. That's your podium as of right now. Alyssa McCarl back to 4th. Lindsay Spank in that 29 rounds out the top 5 as Lovejoy, the only car on the lead lap, and really smooth all around the racetrack. Down the front straight away. Laps continue to wind down in your Powderpuff race. Had a couple of races so far on iRacing for the Powderpuffs. This was like the biggest one that we've done here so far. And we started to build these up a little bit. Eight laps remaining coming around turn number 3 and 4. Everybody spread out single file. Been caution free here tonight. And don't forget, race fans, we'll go right into our second race of the evening here, our second full schedule of the evening coming up here shortly. First hot laps with qualifying, and we'll have our heat races and our feature events later on tonight for the virtual Knoxville Raceway League. And night number 3, championship night. A lot on the line. Tony will give the details of that coming up here a little bit later on Tjaden Automotive night. And Lovejoy continuing to dominate here over in turn number 1 again on the top side of the racetrack now, making her way down the back straightaway, all by her lonesome. And we'll see how many laps we have this time by. As Lovejoy makes her way down the back straightaway, 3.5 laps remaining at the Marion County Fairgrounds. $150 on the line again. Going to tonight's winner. And chaos in the front straightaway. We're going to have a yellow this time. The first yellow of the night. As Lovejoy goes for a ride down the front straightaway. They were coming to the 3 to go that time by. And we'll check out. We'll wait for timing and scoring to give us the official leader on this race. We'll have a 3-lap dash coming at you. So as of right now, Lovejoy is shown as the leader. Lindsay Spank has the second place car. Alyssa McCarl will be the podium as of right now. We'll see if that holds true when we go back to green. So we'll see it now as Lindsay Spank will be your official leader of this race with 3 to go. And we'll see if Lovejoy can make it back out on the racing surface to finish this one out. Heartbreak. And this one, $150 going to tonight's winner. Gonna have a single file restart coming at you here. 3 laps to go. So the top 3 cars right now are on the lead lap. The green flag coming back out here. Lindsay Spank, your leader. Amber Gardner rides in second. Alyssa McCarl third, excuse me. Coming around this time. 2 laps to go, a mile remaining. Yeah, Spank. White flag this time by. Half a mile to go, the Marion County Fairgrounds. Down to the back straightaway for the final time. And into turn number 3 and 4. Off of turn 4, and your Powderpuff race goes the checkers. As Lindsay Spank picks up the win tonight, Alyssa McCarl comes home in second. Amber Gardner rounds out your podium. And Alyssa Lovejoy, who led most of this race tonight, comes home in fourth. Maggie Levitt rounds out the top 5. But again, Lindsay Spank picks up $150 tonight. And a pizza from Corleone's Pizza. So we'll be dining out later on this week. I believe Tony Bachhoven is back with us. I think, Tony, if you're there.
I'm back, but I have nothing, Craig, so it's all on you, bro.
This could be fun.
I'm pouring a drink.
So we're going to have a quick intermission here, race fans, and we'll come back. We'll get things started off for our main event later on tonight. We'll go into our drivers' hot lap sessions for tonight. Then we'll go into qualifying with our national anthem, and we'll talk to some drivers, I believe, later on this evening as well with our heat races and features. So stay with us. We'll be back in just a little bit.
All right, welcome back, race fans. I believe we've got it all dialed in now as we get ready to go with night number 3 of the Knoxville Regular Virtual Spring League Invitational. We have a great field of drivers tonight, all brought to you by Tjaden Automotive. I want to thank some of our sponsors. Tonight, again, over $1,000 purse for these guys racing tonight. Brandon Tjaden putting up 100 for first, 60 for second, 50 for third, 40 for fourth, 30 for fifth, and 20 to the B main winner. Jack L. Anderson Autobody has added $110 to tonight's purse. Caleb Johnson Racing threw in $50 to the A main winner and 50 to the last car on the lead lap. Shane Phillips with TL Racing has put up $50 in tear-offs to the highest and lowest finishing Bell athlete. He's been there every week with us. And $300 gift certificate to Diamond Auto Detailing LLC to tonight's 5th place finisher. Kyle McCullough at hostiowa.net, powered by Nemeth Racing Electronics, has once again put up $25 for quick time and $200 to the driver that goes perfect here tonight. The $25 for 13th sponsorship comes from Justin Cox, and the Dirt Racing Podcast has put up $50 to win the Powderpuff race that just concluded. Fiala's Truck Repair has put up $25 to the hard charger of the night, to the driver that is trucking through the field. That would be the Trucking Through the Field Award. The Dirt from Knoxville podcast has put up $50 to the highest finishing 2019 Knoxville points driver. And Premium Sprint Car Parts has put up $20 to 6th through 10th in tonight's feature event. Corleano's Pizza has put up that pizza to tonight's winner of both A main events, for the Powderpuff and the third and final night of the series here tonight. And also a special call out to Knoxville Raceway, Pushing the Cushion, Alex Hanna Gaming for help making this happen, Eric Arnold, Jamie Ball, and Cade Higday. Of course, tonight's races are brought to you by Tjaden Automotive. Tjaden Automotive, the only shop in the state that offers free diagnostics with no obligation. Make sure you stop by and see the service professionals, not salesmen. Excellent service and affordable prices, all at Tjaden Automotive in Des Moines. Tonight's point standings coming into the championship night. Chase Randall is the points leader. He picked up the opening night win with 140 points. Justin Cox is second with 136. Brian Brown is third with 123. Tyler Curtis in the Valvoline entry is fourth with 114. Seth Bergman is fifth with 106. Jamie Ball is sixth with 91. Tyler Grunendijk is seventh with 88. Johnny Anderson is eighth with 87. Ryan Curtis is ninth with 85, and Chad Morgan, last week's feature winner, picked up 83 points and is in the 10th spot. Want to give Chad a shout out just a second here. He took last week's $350, I believe, winnings and donated it back to the Knoxville Raceway. So when we do have our opening night, race fans, there'll be 7 rows, I believe, that will get Casey's Pizza. And we give 5 pizzas to each row. So that'll be a big night. Thanks to Chad for donating back. And, of course, Casey's is celebrating the safety workers with a slice. And so I know Brian Brown went off this week and brought a bunch of pizzas to a local fire station. Chad Baseplug has done the same thing. He'll be in the 2KS car this season. So thanks to those guys for doing that. And, of course, our friends at Tjaden Automotive, they're offering full synthetic oil changes for just $24.99 and $269.99 for ceramic pads and coated rotors on either the front end or rear of most vehicles. If you need service, Tjaden Automotive is a trusted source for all your auto repairs. And you can find them online at tjadenauto.com. That's TJADEN auto.com. Of course, tonight's race is brought to you by Tjaden Automotive, iRacing, the Knoxville Raceway, Pushing the Cushion Productions, and all of these fine sponsors that we mentioned here tonight. Again, my name's Tony Bachhoven. Chris Krug is in the wings with us again tonight. Chris just handled the duties for the Powderpuff event as I was struggling with technology on my end of the stream here tonight. Chris, the car is out doing some hot lap sessions right now. Let's go down to the infield and talk to some of these drivers. Let's start out with Chad Morgan. Chad is the driver that picked up the win last Thursday night. Chad can normally be found wearing an apron with wrenches in his pockets, crewing on Brian Brown's Casey's car number 21. And Chad, you did a great thing this week, donating your winnings back last week after that throttling you gave these guys. But the Knoxville Raceway fans are the real winners because they're all going to eat pizza based off your winnings.
Yeah, I think with the way things are going to be when we finally fire back up, we're going to need people at the racetrack, and I just thought it would be a good thing to do as a whole. I'm getting to have fun with this, so there's no need for me to really benefit for enjoying myself. So I figure some fans could have some pizza, and it's a perfect deal for Casey's as well. They've been such a huge supporter of our race team that there's nothing better than to be able to do it with Casey's Pizza.
Well, great job, buddy. It's very cool what you're doing, and have a good job, or have fun tonight. Good luck, and let's see if you can go back to back.
Sounds good, buddy. I appreciate it.
That's Chad Morgan. He'll be driving. His car is blue. It's a number 50, and you'll be able to see him here tonight. Another one of the guys that we want to talk to is a guy that used to be a regular. His name is Ryan York. Ryan used to be a regular at the Knoxville Raceway, lives up in the state of Minnesota, up to the north of us. And we're going to try to get him on the radio here in just a second while we do some hot laps here. Ryan, good to have you with us tonight. You know, you were a Knoxville regular for a good part of your early racing career, and tonight you're back here to run a little iRacing here, but you've been getting these iRacing cars around the racetrack about as good as anybody we've seen. Having a little trouble getting down to Ryan's in-car. We'll try to come back to him in just a moment. The cars are continuing to do some hot lapping out on the racetrack here. They'll go into from hot laps. They'll go into their 5-minute qualifying session where they'll get 2 laps to qualify. Their 2 best times, best laps, and that will determine their heat race starting positions tonight. We'll run our heat races and then our big championship feature event. And Cruggy boy, welcome to the broadcast here tonight. And you just got the rust knocked off from being at home all winter with the Powderpuffs. And now the big boys are coming out to play.
Absolutely, going to be a fun night of racing here, Tony. Looks to be a gorgeous night in South Central Iowa. Again, as the sun starts to set down, and it's going to be a great one. Of course, the 5G spot. They're all ready to go in the Hall of Fame. It's going to be a great one as well. And I do miss our family or our staff. You know, Lori and Scoring, of course, Eric Arnold and Bill W. We don't have those guys to pick on tonight, but it's still going to be a fun night of racing here at Knoxville Raceway.
Yeah, it sure is. And let's try to get down with another driver. Let's see if we can get in with Matthew Johnson. Matthew and Jamie Ball kind of spearheading this thing from the get-go as they partnered with several folks. And I know they both spend a lot of time each week. And Matthew just coming out on the racetrack now to do some hot lapping. So we'll see if we can get a word with him here while he's on the racetrack. In just a moment, we did a little racing this afternoon, in fact, to kind of get things prepared for tonight. And having a little bit of trouble here again, getting down to the infield there with their in-cars. So we'll keep working on that. Maybe we'll get with them here later on tonight. We have our friend Christy Woodruff watching. Christy is the queen of the Queens contest, you might say. And so if you're interested, ladies, if you're single, and I don't remember all the rules, but single, and I'm sure Christy will text me here in just a second what the age limit is. But if you're interested in being a part of the Knoxville Raceway, Knoxville Nationals Queen Contest, here before too long, they'll be posting information on the website, knoxvilleraceway.com, and you'll be able to get signed up. That's a great time and a great experience. I had the pleasure of emceeing that event for about 15 years, and watching those girls compete to be the Knoxville Nationals Queen has been a really fun thing to do, and I know the girls really enjoy it. They make a lot of great, long-lasting friendships, and so, ladies, if you're interested in that, just keep watching knoxvilleraceway.com, and they'll be posting stuff here in the coming weeks, if it's not up already, on how you can be a part of the Knoxville Nationals Queen Contest. So let's try one more time. Let's try to go back down to Matt Johnson's car. Matt is, as I mentioned, one of the guys that works really hard at putting this on. He and Jamie Ball have done a nice job of putting this virtual series together. And Matthew, we tried to talk to you just a minute ago when you were pulling on the racetrack. I wanted to try to get in your head a little bit while you were out on the track. But here it is, man, the championship night of what's been a great 3-race series.
Yeah. It's been awesome. It's been a little hectic, trying to race and trying to promote at the same time is super difficult when it comes, to race time, but it's awesome. I'm glad we did it. I hope, that we can keep doing it. I know Knoxville pushed back a little bit farther. So, as long as the fans, want to keep this going, hopefully we can talk with Knoxville and keep, maybe keep going after this championship night. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. I know a lot of fans tune into this. I get a lot of feedback on social media throughout the week. So great job for what you guys are doing. And I was talking a minute ago. We tried to get with you. I was telling the folks that we actually did a little racing last night and a little this afternoon. And my advice to you tonight, my friend, here is my race-winning advice to Matthew Johnson: practice the restarts. Practice the restarts.
Oh man, hey, I'm just glad you didn't tell him about me sending you down the backstretch 3 or 4 times. So.
I'm saving that for regular racing when you can't hear me say it.
Okay, perfect.
So good luck tonight, man. Hope you guys have fun and get you a good finish here tonight.
Hey, thanks, Tony. We really appreciate it, and all you fans out there, thank you so much for tuning in. Without y'all, we couldn't do this, and please let Knoxville know. Let social media know, that you want us to come back and you want to keep doing this so we can keep giving you a show. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. That's Matthew Johnson. You see him right there on the racetrack now doing a little hot lapping. Let's go north of the border with our next driver interview, Thomas Kennedy. He drives the Buffalo Wild Wings car, that nice familiar powder blue car you've been used to seeing over the years. And he is, again, competing here tonight. One of the drivers that's been a part of our virtual racing series, all the three events. Thomas, here it is, my man, championship night. You've been practicing the last couple nights, trying to get ready for tonight. $1,000 purse up for grabs and some bragging rights when we go back to racing in about 2 hours after this is over. Thomas, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello,
there you are. Yeah, there you are. I was just saying, it's been a fun 3-race series so far, and you guys have been doing a lot of practicing during the week, getting prepared for tonight. And, this is going to be a big night, championship night, and a lot of bragging rights go out to whoever can win tonight.
Yes, it does. It's a lot different than real racing, so hopefully I do good, make the A main, and see where we go from there.
Last night you made the comment when we were racing that this was a lot of fun, but you can't wait to get back to the real thing. How much different is it really? I mean, you hear some drivers talk about the similarities, but how different is it compared to what you're normally used to?
Completely different. First, I had to wait for all the gear to arrive, and then after that, figure out setups. I've had a lot of help from people like Jamie Ball, Matthew, and a few other people, and Alex Bergeron, a buddy of mine from Canada. It's been great. It's setup-wise, it's completely different. When I talked to my dad about the way these things are being set up, he's like, that was like 80s type style setting up a race car. So he has yet to come here and help me out a little bit. He says if he does, he might want to race it, and he doesn't want to do it. So
there you go. Well, good luck tonight. Have fun.
Thank
and I was just telling Matthew Johnson, I talked to him a minute ago. I told him he needed to practice on the restarts. My advice to you is stay out of Matthew's way, and you'll win tonight.
yeah, pretty much. I look forward to racing with you again soon.
Sounds good. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
That's Thomas Kennedy. He drives the Buffalo Wild Wings. Kennedy Flooring Powder Blue 21K. We see him racing from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada with us on weekly nights at Knoxville. Glad to have him making that tow down as well. One more guy I'd like to try to get to here before we get underway, and that's Ryan York. He is top on the speed charts here in hot laps tonight. Ryan was a driver that was a regular at the Knoxville Raceway for several years. Early in his racing career, he was in IMCA Modifieds. He raced at the Knoxville Raceway in 360s. And here we are again, Mr. York, back behind the wheel tonight on championship night of the virtual Knoxville Raceway. And he's gone. So we'll try to get him later tonight. We'll hold off on some interviews now here as we get closer to qualifying time. Chad Morgan is second quick in hot laps here. Cade Higday, Brian Brown, TJ Massett, the top 5 cars in hot laps so far tonight. Again, the points leader is Chase Randall, Justin Cox, Brian Brown, the top 3, Tyler Curtis, Seth Bergman, Jamie Ball, Tyler Grunendijk, Johnny Anderson, Ryan Curtis, and Chad Morgan are the top 10 drivers coming into championship night here on Knoxville Virtual Night number 3, presented by Tjaden Automotive. Not exactly sure how much longer we have here. We'll see if we can establish that. About 6 more minutes to go here in hot laps, and then we'll go straight into qualifying, which will also be when we do the national anthem.
And
Krug,
Tony,
yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead,
Yeah,
buddy. Go ahead.
We're hanging out in our virtual press box here at the virtual Knoxville Raceway, but we don't have the virtual food. I can only imagine right now you got your Tony Baco and nachos or taco salad next to you with the runny cheese instead of the shredded cheese.
And one of the biggest differences, if you can hear that, is I'm missing a drink.
Yes, absolutely. And I got to tell you, of all the special foods that we have at Checker Flag Concessions and the great work that they do, my personal favorite is the most basic one, those hot dogs. I've been craving them for so long, and I can't wait to get back
pretty
to
tough to beat.
Those are pretty hard to beat. But no, this is going to be an exciting night tonight. I've been fortunate to watch the past couple nights and kind of got the hang of things here. So excited to be part of this again tonight here, and we'll have a good time coming up.
Should be a lot of fun. I know it's been a long time since we last announced a race. You know, I guess for me it was at the Chili Bowl this year, but
yeah,
it's been high time to get back to racing, and got the motorhome out of storage here a couple weeks ago, and it's just been sitting there because there's been nothing to do with it. But soon enough, I guess we'll get ready to go. I do want to just update Christy, as I expected, text me, and 18 to 29 is the age range for the girls that want to compete in the Knoxville Nationals Queen Contest. So if you're interested and you're watching online, of course, you can certainly do that. Like last week, you can certainly tweet your seat. Well, we've got a little time here. I'll hop over to Twitter and take a look at who's chiming in. Of course, don't forget tomorrow night, the ASCS sprint cars will be on the Knoxville Raceway. Brian Holbert and I will be making the call for that. Amy Levitt chiming in, please say hi to LLC Racing, Lauren and Lind Crum from KC, and Ryan Levitt. Also want to say hi to Charlie Levitt, who's likely watching. About 4 minutes to go. Michelle is chiming in. She's got a cold drink in her hand, cheering on Bobby and Mandy Meitzer tonight on iRacing. Oh, it's a Busch Latte, it says here, Krug. Right up your alley.
There we go. Well, I do believe my boss Ross and I think your good friend Ross, go-karting buddy, are tuning in tonight as well. Generally hanging out in the 5G spot over the Hall of Fame.
Nice.
But
don't forget to get the app. # get the app.
Yes. This weekend,
you'll be able to keep track, keep up with the racing up at Park Jefferson tomorrow night, and it's not tomorrow night, is it?
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Saturday
night. You'll be able to follow along and get the app, download it to your smartphone.
Got a lot of great things coming out with that too. I can't say too much, but it's one you're going to want to get here, and you're not going to miss out for sure.
Don't worry, race fans. I'll get 2 beers in him, and he'll tell us all about it.
All about it.
But again, if you'd like to tweet where you're watching from and that you're watching online, we'd love to hear it. And as Matthew said, let the folks at the Knoxville Raceway know you enjoy it, because we enjoy bringing this to you, and we know that they enjoy hearing from you as well. As Krug mentioned earlier, racing pushed off again a couple weeks, but we're all hoping with all our might that we'll be back at the track in the middle of May, pending any other craziness that happens in our world. But let's all hope we get back there sooner than later, because I can promise you everybody at the Knoxville Raceway wants to get racing as bad as the fans do. So again, thanks to Kendra. She added $50 to the winner's pay of tonight's Knoxville Spring League Powderpuff virtual race. And there was one stipulation: the winner spends it solely on herself, not on bills or groceries. Do something with it that makes you smile. So good advice. Okay. Everybody should do something for themselves that makes them smile, especially during this time. Do want to also do a nice quick shout out to our photographer buddy Chuck Stowe. Many of you might know Chuck. He used to work at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. He was an integral part of launching the Dirt Truck Series that raced at the Iowa State Fairgrounds, and they come to the Knoxville Raceway a couple times a year. We call him Roadshow, but Chuck is down under the weather with a little of the coronavirus himself. He's in the hospital up in Des Moines, but we're wishing you the best, Chuck, and get back in good health. And get back to the racetrack and hang with us this summer. We look forward to seeing you, but we wish you well. And we wish everyone well that might be struggling with this crazy
Yeah.
virus right now. So all the best to you. Minute and a half remains here in Hot Lap session before we get ready to go for Knoxville Virtual Night number 3, brought to you by Tjaden Automotive. Excellent service, affordable prices. You can find them online at tjadenauto.com. That's TJADEN auto.com. And you can find out more about our friends at Tjaden Automotive and all the great things they bring to you for your auto.
And Tony, I just realized this. We don't have our third man of our broadcast tonight, obviously. So we could have some fun with that. And he has no bounce back to get back to us. Good old Mike is
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike is up. Right now, he's up north, I believe. I think he went up to Park Jeff.
He is up there getting things ready at Park Jeff, getting all that ready to go. Of course, they'll be doing that race all online. No one in the stands this weekend, so be exciting for them to get that race going.
Yep.
Terry McCarl putting on that. Terry and Lori putting on a great show up there. So be running, I believe, IMCA Modifieds with it as well. Isn't that right?
Yes, that's correct.
So that will be happening this weekend. I know lots of folks are excited. So Ryan York, fastest in hot laps here. Chad Morgan, Kate Higday, Brian Brown, and TJ Masick were the top 5 in warm-ups here. And in just a moment, that will be coming to a close. A little less than 30 seconds remain. And then we'll be getting right into qualifying. So that'll do it for hot laps here tonight. We'll go right into qualifying and the national anthem. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're at home, please stand up out of the Burker Lounger, put your beer on the table, take off your hats as we get ready for tonight's national anthem sung by Katie Spriggs.
In the performance of our national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang the bombs bursting in gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And thanks, everyone, again for joining us. Thanks to Katie for singing the national anthem, Eric Arnold for helping pull all that together. Appreciate that. We'll say hello to my buddy Ryan, watching from up in Sioux Falls. I know a lot of folks from Sioux Falls are watching. Dee, our friend Dee, is tuning in from Ankeny, watching. She's got the big screen going. Our buddy Tyler Barr is watching as well, so glad to have you guys dialed in here tonight. As the drivers are getting their adjustments made. If you've ever been into iRacing, they're clicking on the garage tab and they're tweaking their setups and getting everything dialed right in as we're just about ready to go. With looks like Chad Morgan, tonight's quick qualifier. Oh, now Kevin Swindell is quickest. As we're just about set to complete qualifying here, we'll see who ends up being on the top of the heap here tonight. Of course, Kevin picked up a win with the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars on the FS1 broadcast here earlier, a few weeks back. Right now it's Kevin, Chad, Brian, Johnny Anderson, and TJ Masick, the top 5. I believe we have 38 cars signed in for action here tonight. Tjaden Automotive presents Knoxville Virtual Series race number 3. About a minute and a half left in qualifying here. Now's a great time to run into the kitchen and grab whatever you're going to need as we get going. As you remember from last week, things click off pretty fast, so we'll be running them right through. They click off a lot faster than the Huskers run down the football field, Krug, so I hope you can keep up with us here tonight.
I will do my best on that, that's for sure. And I'm getting word that Lori Cutter with Champions Race Promotions is donating a champion brand strategy coaching session for the top 3 B main and top 3 A main tonight. So she'll get in touch with you guys that are on for those in those top 3 spots.
So just about ready to go here. "20 seconds left. Kevin Swindell still your fastest car in qualifying. Chad Morgan, Brian Brown, Johnny Anderson, and TJ Masick, the top 5 unchanged here as we are just about ready to put the ribbons on qualifying. And we'll go down quickly with our quick qualifier once we're done with qualifying and get a quick word with whomever that might be. And Kevin is not in Discord, so that won't work. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go iRacing here tonight at Knoxville, Virtual Knoxville, presented by Tjaden Automotive. Heat race number 1 going to the grid. We'll line them up like this. Starting on the inside of row number 1, he is the current point leader. In the car number 2, it's Chase Randall. Outside of the front row, in the car number 1, Kelby Watt. Row 2 on the inside, third starting spot is Peyton Grease in the 55. And starting in the 4th spot, the Valvoline number 5 of Tyler Curtis. He had a strong run last Thursday night and is currently 4th in the point standings. Row 3 on the inside, TJ Masick. And outside of him, your quick qualifier in the Swindell Speed Labs, car number 39, the Bulldog, Kevin Swindell. Row 4 on the inside, 7th starting spot, Brock Wilson in the 15. And starting in the 8th position in the 22, that's Tony Schilling. Your 5th row on the inside, Bobby Meintzer in the 40. And Garrett Tatnall, GT, behind the wheel tonight. He'll start 10th, the young son of Brooke Tatnall. Getting ready to go here, 5 rows of 2. I believe the top 4 cars are transferring. 8 laps is the distance here in the heat races tonight. So we'll get the cars lined up 2 by 2. Wally Price in the iRacing pace truck, bringing the field around as we are getting close to dropping the green here on Tjaden Automotive heat race number 1. Chase Randall is your pole setter. He picked up the opening night feature win. Had a strong top 3 finish last week and comes into tonight's action as the point leader, 4 spots ahead of Justin Cox, whom we'll see race here in just a little bit. All right, here we go. Heat race number 1, just about to go to the green flag. Chase Randall setting the pace with Kelby Watt to his outside. Row 1, side by side as they roll into turns 3 and 4. The iRacing pace truck will drop to the inside. He'll go to the infield, and off of turn 4, we'll be looking. Green flag is out. Randall gets a good jump on the field down into turn number 1. They're 2 wide behind them as they race into turn number 2. A 3 wide battle off of turn number 2. That's the race for the 4th spot. Randall will bring him around, leading for lap number 1. Battle in the 3rd position now off of turn number 4. Down the front chute into turn 1. It's Chase Randall, Peyton Grease, TJ Massick, Kelby Watt. Slipping back to 5th, Kevin Swindell now up into that 4th and final transfer spot. Car gets up in the air, one over the wheel. Kevin gets a little shove there. He'll race right through the turn. Kevin Swindell in that 4th and final transfer position in the car number 39. Down to the inside of turn number 2. Your top 4 cars nose to tail down the back straightaway. Chase Randall, Peyton Grease from Indiana in that number 2 position. TJ Massick and Kevin in that 4th spot. Kelby Watt running 5th. He started on the outside of the front row. 1 spot out of a transfer. The top 4 cars begin to try to pull away from the field. You see Kelby Watt running 5th all alone, but Kevin Swindell knocking on the door for the 3rd spot. Looking for a little insurance there. Looks to the inside. Down to the inside he'll go as they race into turn number 1. TJ Massick trying to hold him back here as the laps continue to click off. Chase Randall still leading, but he's got company now. Here comes Peyton Grease in the 55 car. Down to the inside. Your races for the lead. Side by side in turn number 2. Battle for the top spot here in heat race number 1. Down the back chute. Grease looking low. Randall right through the middle holding him off as they race off at turn number 4. Chase Randall still leading. Peyton Grease running in that 2nd spot. TJ Massick in 3rd. Kevin Swindell running in that 4th position. Kelby Watt running 5th. The top 5 cars working through 3 and 4, but the battle still for the lead. Time is running out here as the laps continue to click off. White flag as Chase Randall shows the way. Peyton Grease running in that 2nd spot. 2 car lengths back now. Looks to the inside. Will he have enough time? Off of turn 4 looking low. Who's it going to be as they come down the front chute? Chase Randall. Chase Randall getting the win. Peyton Grease coming home 2nd. TJ Massick 3rd. And Kevin Swindell in that 4th and final transfer position. Good run for him. Chris Krug will give you the call as heat race number 2 goes to the grid.
Thanks, Tony. Carson McCarroll, Ryan Levitt on the front row for heat race number 2. We'll see Stuart Snyder to the inside of row number 2 and Eric Wilkie right to his outside starting in 4th. Back to row number 3 in the 31, that's Justin Cox, and right to his outside, that's Chad Morgan in the 50. Back now to row number 4 to the inside. Evan Epperson starts inside, and he'll be high-fiving Dennis Gainey in the 85 when they come to the green outside. Row number 5, that's Caden Moore to the inside, and Dan Henning in the 41 right to his outside. So we'll get ready to rock and roll here for heat race number 2. Top 4 transferring on, everyone else on to the B mains later on here tonight. Great racing action already in heat race number 1. We'll try and duplicate that success in heat race number 2 and get that excitement going here in your 2nd heat race. Again, top 4 are going to transfer on to the big show later on this evening. And we'll get them lined up 2 by 2 when they come around at turn number 3 or 2, excuse me.
That's turn 4, buddy.
That is turn 4. That is turn 4. Excuse
Boy,
me.
you send the guy home for a few months in the winter, and look what happens.
Man, tell me about it. And Tony, I haven't had a drink tonight. How about that?
That might be the problem.
It might be.
I announced with the guy once that the more he drank, the better he announced.
There he was, right? So now they'll make their way past the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum down the back straightaway. 8 laps the distance in this one. Great racing in that first heat race. We'll see how it goes in heat race number 2 as they come around. As the caution light's going to go off. Wally takes the Craig Ford Raptor inside the infield. We are green flag racing off of turn number 4. Strong run up front now for McCall and Levitt. Snyder and Cox, your top 4, right at the drop of the green flag. They make their way down the back. They'll spread out single file entering turn number 3. Off around turn number 4 now. Field starting to span out a little bit here, but great racing going on further back in the pack as the top 4 remain all single file. Keep your eye on the battle going on now for that 3rd place spot. Side by side racing goes on in turn number 3 as they come around turn number 4. Stewart, Snyder, Justin Cox going to try and battle it out now for a great transfer spot here in turn number 2 in the back straightaway. As McCall looking strong in this one, Ryan Levitt continues to ride in that 2nd place spot. Justin Cox hangs on to the podium position right now, and Stewart Snyder has that 4th and final transfer spot. Chad Morgan on the outside looking in. He'll try and dive down to the inside of your race now for a transfer spot, heading to the back straightaway. Side by side racing continues as that transfer spot still up for grabs. Justin Cox hangs on to that third place spot, but Morgan all over Stu Snyder. Snyder goes up the top side of the racetrack, gives it up for a second. Now he'll go back to the inside. Stewart, Snyder hangs on to it. Now Ryan Levitt, Carson McCarl, Evan Epperson going to trade some spots as Epperson goes to the lead now. He'll show the way. Now McCarl back to top. Racing continuing. This one will come around this time. We'll see these laps 7 of 8 around turn number 4 this time as Doug Clark waves the field by. Carson McCardle, Justin Cox, Ryan Levitt, and Chad Morgan, your top 4. Eric Wilkie now that first car on the outside looking in, as Stuart Center now has that 5th spot, going to try and close the gap with the top 4. Chad Morgan was battling for a while for that final transfer spot, but he did pick it up. And now the top 4 cars have all checked out from the rest of the field. Carson McCardle trying to hang on as Justin Cox is right behind him for that lead around turn number 3 and 4. I believe the white flag will fly this time by. Checkered flag is out. Carson McCarl gets the win. Justin Cox in second. Ryan Levitt third. Chad Morgan gets that 4th and final transfer spot. And Stuart Snyder, the first car on the outside, looking in. So 2 heat races are down. We'll go to heat race number 3, Tony.
Heat race number 3, getting ready to go to the grid. And the guy on the pole, a Knoxville Raceway Hall of Famer in the Fox Racing car number 10, that's Jeff Tuttle. Jeff Tuttle back behind the wheel here of Virtual Racing. Outside of the front row, from Oskaloosa in the Rosa family. Car number 17, that's Tyler Gronendijk. Row 2 on the inside, third starting spot from Snohomish, Washington. The car number 43, that's Seth Bergman. And outside of him, driving the car number 9, that's Ryan York from Minnesota. Your third row on the inside, 5th starter, that's Cade Higday in the Higday Lawn Care, car number 24. And to his outside in the Casey's FVP Impact 4800, car number 21, that's Blackjack Brian Brown. Row number 4 to the inside of the lineup, Chris Martin in the car number 44, and to his outside in the 26, that's Chase Young. Chase Young will start there. And your 5th row, Caleb Johnson on the inside, and he will be the final starter here in heat race number 3, brought to you by Tjaden Automotive. So the car is getting lined up here. Rolling onto the racetrack here. We'll get the cars out on the track. As the iRacing pace truck brings the field around. Jeff Tuttle, a name that I remember from my early days of going to the Knoxville Raceway. He raced with the likes of Rocky Hodges and Randy Smith and Scott Richard, Bob Hopp, just to name a few of the guys that were from that era of racing at the Knoxville Raceway. TJ Giddings. Those were the good old days, Krug. Not that today's days aren't good, but boy, those were some good old racing days back then.
No, I know what you mean. We had a lot of that back here in the Nebraska area as well. The old days of racing, and some memories just sit a little better than other ones.
All right, just about ready to go here. Jeff Tuttle behind the wheel of the George the Chili King, car number 10. As we get ready to go, pace truck pulls to the infield. Jeff Tuttle sets the pace. Tyler Gronendijk outside of the front row. Off of turn 4 to the green. We're back underway. Car getting into the wall in the back of the pack, but up front a big battle 3 wide in turn number 2. Browning goes to the middle. Oh, your lead 2 cars in turn 2. You've got a new leader now, Cade Higday. He'll lead him off of turn number 4. Cade Higday in the Higday Lawn Care, car number 24 shows the way. Brian Brown running in that 2nd spot. Brian comes into tonight's championship night 3rd in the point standings. Down the back straightaway, the top 2 cars beginning to pull away from the field. Caleb Johnson and Chris Martin, your top 4. Seth Bergman driving in the Baughman-Reitzel Motorsports car in the 2020 season. On the outside looking in. Now he gets around Chris Martin, but Martin gets back around him as well. They go battling it out down the back straightaway. That's the race for the transfer spot. Top 4 cars move on. Now Chris Martin slipping back to the 5th spot. Chase Young, Jeff Tuttle, Tyler Gronendijk, Ryan York round out the field here in the heat race number 3. Down through turns 3 and 4, your leader still, Cade Higday. Brian Brown, 3 car lengths back as they work down the front straightaway. Higday turning some good laps, 15.555, his best lap here in this heat race. Off of turn number 2, good battle down the back straightaway. That's for back in the pack. Caleb Johnson now in that 4th position as Seth Bergman has moved up into the 3rd spot. Bergman, the red car with the silver wing on the top, the unpainted wing here tonight. Bergman running around the top side of the racetrack, the driver from Snohomish, Washington. Looking for more here in heat race number 3. Caleb Johnson in that 4th and final transfer spot, and Chris Martin outside of a transfer in the 5th spot. Back up front, Cade Higday, still your race leader in the car number 24, right up around the top side of the racetrack. Maggie Levitt wheeled that car in the Powderpuff race just a few minutes ago. Brownie trying to close in, but time is running out. We're on the final lap, coming for checkers. Who's it going to be? Down the back straightaway, Higday goes to the bottom. Brown to the cushion. He'll diamond off the turn. Cade Higday with lots of momentum and room. He'll pick up the heat race win. Brian Brown comes home in the 2nd spot. 3rd goes to Seth Bergman, and the 4th and final transfer to the 22 of Caleb Johnson. Chris Martin comes home 5th. Chase Young, Tyler Gronendijk, Jeff Tuttle, and Ryan York round out the field here at heat race number 3. Cade Higday gets the win. Heat race number 4 getting ready to go, and Craigie will give the call.
Thanks, Tony. Here's how we'll line them up. Matthew Johnson, Wayne Johnson share that front row for heat race number 4. And looking now back to row number 2 in a quick second here, we'll see Austin Fiella and Jamie Ball side by side, 3rd and 4th. Ryan Curtis, Johnny Anderson share row number 3. We'll see Jeff Woodruff, the inside of row number 4, and Thomas Kennedy, the Canadian, in row number 4 to his outside. Row number 5 rounds out the field. A.J. Johnson rounds it out here for heat race number 4. So Wayne Johnson and Matthew Johnson going to go side by side. When we go to the green here in just a quick second.
While we're waiting for those cars, let's get a word with one of the drivers as they're getting ready to roll out. Let's get a word with Wayne Johnson if we can. Wayne lining up on the outside of the front row. Wayne Johnson, a driver that spent a lot of time running at the Knoxville Raceway. He's run with the World of Outlaws, the ASCS National Tour. Wayne, you got a good starting spot here in the heat race number 4. You're outside of the front row. What will it take to get the checkers here in this heat race tonight?
Yeah, I got a copy. What was that again?
I said you got a good starting spot here tonight, buddy, in this heat race from the outside of the front row. What's it going to take to hold on to get the win?
Well, in my case, just not run into anything or get crashed because I'm not very good at it.
Is Slippy sitting right alongside you? Got her all dialed in tonight?
No, those boys are fishing tonight, so I don't know. Maybe that'll be my lucky charm. That they're
all right. Good luck getting ready to go here. Wayne Johnson, side of the front row, correct?
So we'll go green this time by as the caution lights go off in turn number 1 and 3. 8 laps the distance. Top 4 are going to move on to the big show. Everyone else, again, will have to fight for the right to party in the B main later on this evening. Wally takes the Craig 4 Raptor inside turn number 4 this time. Green flag is out for heat race number 4. Wayne Johnson, Matthew Johnson showed that front row as they'll race it in turn number 2. Matthew Johnson looking strong early on. He'll show the way in the back straightaway. Try and hang on to that lead for the top spot. He'll have some company coming around turn number 4. He'll show the way after lap number 1. It's Matthew Johnson, Wayne Johnson, Johnny Anderson, and Ryan Curtis. A lot of J's in the top 3 spots right now as they go down the back straightaway entering turn number 3. Everybody going to move up top. Look at that, a single file freight train around turn number 4. That cushion's a place to be as Wayne Johnson peeks down low for a quick second to try and make something work. He's all over that back bumper now, the number 2 in the back straightaway. Top 4 cars have pretty much all checked out from the rest of the field entering turn number 4. And now, great battle going on for that 3rd place position. Podium spot up for grabs in this one. Johnny Anderson, Wayne Johnson going to duke it out here as they'll change spots for one quick second. Now, Wayne Johnson back to that third place spot and peeking low. Here comes Johnny Anderson, looks to the inside of Matthew Johnson. Can't quite make it work. He'll fall back in line. Meanwhile, at fifth place spot, Austin Fiala. He is way back there. The first car on the outside looking in. The top four cars all strong in this one. As again, Matthew Johnson hanging on for dear life. He might give the lead up now. He falls down low. He will. As Johnny Anderson down to the point in turn number one. Cars behind him, though. Here comes Ryan Curtis and Wayne Johnson going to try and duke it out for an insurance spot entering turn number 3. Laps winding down. They'll have 2 to go this time by, as now your pole sitter Matthew Johnson falls back to 3rd, still in that transfer position, though, as Wayne Johnson back to 4th. Top 4 cars all pretty much spreading out equally here in heat race number 4 as they'll come to the white flag this time by. Battle going on now for that 3rd place spot again. It's Ryan Curtis right back underneath the Matthew Johnson. He'll get that spot right back. As this is, again, 2 laps to go as they make their way out now the exit of turn number 2. Johnny Anderson puts some pretty good space between him and the rest of the field entering turn 3. And now Curtis back to the inside of Matthew Johnson as Johnson hangs on to that 3rd place spot. And Wayne Johnson in that 4th and final transfer position as the white flag is out. And that is the white flag. Excuse me, checker flag coming out on the field. So Johnny Anderson gets the win. Ryan Curtis comes home 2nd. Matthew Johnson 3rd. And Wayne Johnson gets that 4th and final transfer spot. Austin Fiala, the first car on the outside looking in, comes home in 5th.
So your heat race is clicking off here. We have one more to go, I believe, and we'll line it up like this on the inside of the front row. This is, this is the B-main. All right, here we go. B-main coming up quick. The B-main starting on the pole, the car number 1 of Kelby Watt. Outside of him from over in Nebraska, the car number 23 is Stu Snyder. Your second row on the inside, Chris Martin alongside of Austin Fiala. He'll start in the 4th position. Row 3, Brock Wilson and Eric Wilkie. Eric picking up a new sponsor tonight, Handmade Motorsports, coming on board with him. Chase Young and Jeff Woodruff line up in row number 4. Row number 5, side by side, you'll find Tony Schilling and Dan Henning lining up alongside of one another. Ryan York lines up on the inside of the 6th row, and to his outside, A.J. Johnson from Oskaloosa in car number 8. Row 7 is Bobby Meintzer and Dennis Gainey starting to the 14th spot. Your next row, Tyler Gronendijk and Thomas Kennedy lining up in the 16th position. Tyler Curtis and Caden Moore lining up in row number 9. Row 10 is Jeff Tuttle and Jamie Ball. Jamie had trouble in the heat race. We'll see if he can redeem himself. Garrett Tatnall and Evan Epperson in the 22nd starting spot here tonight. Row number 12 is going to be empty. Car scratched from that one. Let's get a word real quick from Tyler Curtis. Tyler starting deep in the field here in tonight's B-main event. And he comes into tonight's action 4th in the point standings. And it looks like we aren't able to get to his in-car tonight. His brother was just in the last heat race, came home with a good 2nd place finish. Of course, as I mentioned, Kelby Watt starting on the outside of the front row. Another one of the guys in this heat race, Eric Wilkie, picking up that new sponsor, Handmade Motorsports. Glad to have them alongside. And again, glad to have our sponsors here tonight. Of course, tonight brought to you by Tjaden Automotive, the only shop in the state that offers free diagnostics with no obligation. Give them a call, stop by, and see the service professionals who are not salesmen. They just want to get you back on the road. Of course, also want to thank our friends at Pushing the Cushion Productions, the Knoxville Raceway, and at iRacing. And, of course, all of our cash sponsors contributing to the purse as the pace truck pulls to the infield. I believe 8 cars, something like that, transferring on as we get ready to go 20 laps in distance. Green flag waves as Kelby Watt jumps out to the early lead down the back straightaway through turns 1 and 2. Past the Hall of Fame, they begin to sort it out down the back straightaway. Kelby Watt trying to make something happen here in tonight's B-main event. Stu Snyder, Austin Fiala, Eric Wilkie, and Chris Martin, the top 5. Tony Schilling and Brock Wilson are 6th and 7th here in the early runnings. Chris Martin there to the inside. He'll try to make something happen coming off to turn number 4 back up front. Kelby Watt is the race leader, but Stu Snyder all over him. Stu Snyder looked high. This time he'll follow him right through the turn, maybe ducking low perhaps. We'll watch them as they race into 3. Watt goes to the bottom. Now Snyder turns the car, looks to the inside, trying to make something work off of turn 4. He'll close the gap by 2 car lengths down into turn number 1. Nose to tail, your leaders battling it out in turn number 2. Austin Fiala in that 3rd spot looking on. He's the yellow car in the picture there as the leaders go side by side in turn number 4. Your races for the lead here in tonight's B main event as they work into turn number 1. Stu Snyder is wearing them out. Kelby Watt still out front, doing all he can to fend off Snyder, who ducks to the inside, looking for the lead in turn 4. He's got it. Here comes Watt. He says no. He'll go back around the outside as they race into turn number 1. How about this race for the lead here in tonight's B main event? Here comes Fiala in that 3rd spot, closing the gap on your leaders. Eric Wilkie in that 4th position, closing it as well. Tony Schilling now up into the 5th spot. But the race is for the lead as they work into turns 1 and 2. Slow car right in front of the leaders. They stay green as they go around the outside. Kelby Watt through the bottom of turns 3 and 4. Stu Snyder patiently looking on in that 2nd position. Austin Fiala running 3rd. He goes to the top of the racetrack. Stu Snyder tries to put a slider on him. Can't get it done. He'll stay right alongside of him, though they'll drag race down the back straightaway looking for the lead. Here comes Snyder across the nose. He'll take the lead in turn 4. Stu Snyder now the race leader as they work down the front chute, but here comes Wilkie. He'll put the whip to her and take the lead back in turn 2. Snyder back around him on the inside. How about this battle for the lead as they race into turns 3 and 4? Stu Snyder now by 3 car lengths as they race off at turn number 4 as the laps continue to click off. 9 in the books of this 20-lap affair. Stu Snyder shows the way now as he settles into the top spot down the back chute. Kelby Watt, Austin Fiala, Eric Wilkie, Tony Schilling in your top 5. Good racing up front for the leaders. Chris Martin running 6th, Dan Henning, Brock Wilson, Tyler Curtis, Dennis Gainey rounds out the top 10. Thomas Kennedy in that 11th position here in the B main. He started deep in the field, about halfway to the front now. Plenty of time for Kennedy. We'll keep an eye on him as well as he tries to march his way toward the front. Garrett Tatnell now up into the 18th position. As the race continues to click off, back up front, it's all Stu Snyder. Kelby Watt right there behind him. Let's see if we can go in car with Stu Snyder, your race leader, as he goes around the top side of turns 1 and 2. Now you're inside with the race leader. Looking down the back straightaway, down to the bottom of turns 3 and 4 is Stu Snyder. Slow cars up on the top, but you can see a fairly clear racetrack ahead for your leader. About halfway up the track, right through the middle, and now we have a yellow. Yellow, yellow, yellow. So Stu Snyder will get a chance here to catch his breath with 7 laps to go in tonight's B main event. Kelby Watt running 2nd, Austin Fiala running in the 3rd spot, Eric Wilkie 4th, Tony Schilling is 5th, and we'll check to see how many cars are transferring out of this one here. I believe perhaps 8, but I'm not quite sure on that. We'll get an official word from the timing and scoring booth here in just a second. 8, in fact, it is. 8, in fact, it is. All right, so Wally will bring the pace truck out on the back straightaway. So as we take a look at the running order, we'll see who is in the 8th and final transfer spot now. That happens to be Brock Wilson. Brock Wilson in the 8th spot. Brock is our production manager during the racing season up in the press box. If you're watching online on race night, Brock is the man that makes that happen. He and Maggie Levitt pull that together. So special thanks to them. Stu Snyder will be the race leader here on the restart. Yellow laps do count here tonight, so as you can see, 5 laps to go as we pace around under caution. Tyler Curtis is in the 9th spot, 1 out of a transfer. Bobby Meitzer is 10th in the 15 car. So there's a chance for these guys here on the restart to get a good start, maybe gain a couple spots. And for those guys that are 9th, 10th, and 11th, there's a chance for them one last shot here with about 5 to go. Off of turn 4, back to the green flag. Stu Snyder gets a great start. He yards the field as they race down into turns 1 and 2. Stu Snyder leading, Kelby Watt, Austin Fiala, Eric Wilkie, Tony Schilling, Chris Martin, Henning Wilson in the 8th spot. Tyler Curtis going for the transfer spot. We'll watch that one happen. Tyler Curtis in the Valvoline, car number 5. Across the nose, he'll get up there into the spot as they race off of turn number 2. Tyler came into the points battle tonight 4th in the standings, looking for a strong finish here tonight. Now all he needs to do is maintain 3 more laps to make it into tonight's feature event. You see Tyler go right up on the top of the racetrack there, put the right rear up on the cushion, gets crowded to the fence as they race down the back straightaway. Tyler Curtis, Brock Wilson is in the 9th spot. Dan Henning just ahead of Tyler in that dogfight for position as they work around the racetrack on the final lap. Checkered flag will be out for your winner. Oh, cars getting up into the fence. Curtis is one of them. He gets into the fence, but he gets her back on all 4s. Will he make the transfer? Off of turn 4, Checkers out. Kelby Watt gets the win. Oh, my. Austin Fiala comes home 2nd. Chris Martin 3rd. Dan Henning getting the 4th spot. Tyler Curtis scrapping out for a 5-spot finish. Jeff Woodruff 6th. How about that? 7th goes to Stu Snyder. Tony Schilling in the 8th and final spot. Holy cow. What happened on the last lap, race fans? Woo! There was stuff happening. I didn't even know where to watch. There was so much happening there. What a race. There's going to be a long line at the parts bench tomorrow at the Jocko Sprint Parts store.
Jocko's going to be busy tomorrow for sure.
Tyler Curtis getting her up on the wall. Puts her up on 2 wheels on the wall. Gets her back on all 4s. Scraps out a 5th place finish there. Good for him. As the A-main car is coming out to do a little warm-up session, they'll get about a minute and a half to do some warm-ups.
Tony, this is about the time I would look to you and say, all right, 50-50 time, and pull those tickets out, and we'll give away some money.
Yeah, exactly. So the car is doing a little hot lapping here before we go to the feature event. Were we able to get Tyler Curtis's radio dialed back in tonight? He is not? Okay, we are not able to get him on the radio tonight, unfortunately. Once we get the lineup read for tonight's feature event, race fans, we'll try to go and get a word with our pole setter. So we'll get the lineup read here in just a little bit, and then we'll try to get a word from our pole setter here tonight on championship night. And then we'll also see if we can get a word with Chase Randall. In fact, if we could get Chase Randall on the radio, that might be a good one to get right now if that's possible. So we'll work on that here in just a second. Some of the drivers muting their headsets during these practice sessions. In light of the last few weeks, Krug, that's probably not a bad idea.
No, not at all. I will say, Tony, the drive home for me tonight is going to be much better than a typical Saturday night from the Knoxville Raceway.
Walk across the room.
Walk across the room, and you know, it's not the typical 3-hour drive home that it usually is for me. So.
Exactly. So Checkered's out on this warm-up session for tonight's A-main cars. We'll give them just a second. They'll make their final adjustments to the cars, and we'll go ahead and give you your starting lineup. Starting on the pole, he is the series point leader going into tonight. The car number 2, that's Chase Randall outside of the front row. We call him Tecumseh. That's Carson McCarl going from the outside of the front row. Row 2 on the inside, Kate Higday in the car number 24, and Johnny Lightning Anderson will start in the 4th spot in the Jack L. Anderson Auto Body car number 7. Peyton Grease in the TK Concrete 55 lines up on the inside of the 3rd row, and Justin Cox lining up in the car number 31 from the state of California. Row 4 on the inside, you'll find Brian Brown in the Casey's FVP Impact Signs, car number 21, and to his outside in the Valvoline, car number 18, that's Ryan Curtis. Row number 5, your night starter is TJ Masick from Knoxville, Iowa, and to his outside, Ryan Levitt in the Steve Wares Motorsports, car number 32 here tonight. Seth Bergman lines up in the 11th spot in car number 43, and to his outside, the 16 with the 2 on the wing, that's Matt Johnson. He'll start in the 12th spot. The Bulldog, Kevin Swindell in the Swindell Speed Labs, car number 39, lines up 13th, and to his outside, last Thursday's feature winner in the 50, that's Chad Morgan. Your 8th row on the inside, Caleb Johnson and Wayne Johnson to his outside, and row number 9, you'll find Kelby Watt and Austin Fiala. Row number 10, is Chris Martin and Dan Henning in the 20th spot, and row number 11 is Tyler Curtis in the 5 and Jeff Woodruff in the 30. Row 12, Stu Snyder and Tony Schilling. These cars coming out of tonight's B main event. So the cars are lined up, 24 of them side by side, and not sure if we're able to get back with our pole setter here tonight or not. He had his headset muted just a minute ago. We'll see if in fact we can get a word. Chase Randall going from the point here tonight, my friend. You come into the night as the point leader of the championship series. You picked up a win on the first night. Can you get your second win here tonight? Ah, man, I wasted another good lead in. These drivers don't realize, Krug, that I don't have many of those. I got to really work hard to pull these together.
Right.
All right, just about ready to go here. As the cars are rolling around the racetrack, everybody getting onto the grid. Still a few cars not on the grid yet. We'll give them just a little bit longer to get saddled up. And we're coming to green. We're going to go without him. Off of turn 4, Chase Randall bringing him down. Green flag waves. Here we go. 40 laps the distance. Chase Randall leads him into turn 1. A gaggle of cars behind him trying to sort him out. 3 and 4 wide through the pack as they work down the back straightaway. Johnny Anderson, the meat and the sandwich right there, almost got tagged there. He was 2 and 3 wide coming through the turn, but he's found him a 4th place spot now. Brian Brown in the 5th position right behind him. In the car number 21, Carson McCarl in that 6th position. Car up into the wall as they race through turns 1 and 2. That was Carson McCarl. Chase Randall continues to lead, and right behind them you'll see a great battle from second on back. Cade Higday, Johnny Anderson, Peyton Grease, Justin Cox, Brian Brown, a whole bunch of them there mixing it up as they race down the back straightaway. Cade Higday leads that group of cars. There's Johnny Anderson in the red car number 7 right behind him. Brian Brown, the white car number 21, follows him in. Brownie in that 4th spot. Justin Cox, he's second runner-up in the point standings coming into tonight's championship battle here. He finds himself in a 5th place spot, finds himself good right here with just a couple laps in the books. Right behind him, they go side by side for position. That'd be the race for the 6th spot. Peyton Grease and Ryan Curtis, Seth Bergman, Kevin Swindell, and Chad Morgan rounds out your top 10. Caleb Johnson, Matthew Johnson, then Kelby Watt, Austin Fiala, and Ryan Levitt, I believe, are the top 15 cars as they race around the racetrack. Everybody moving up to the top side of the speedway. You see a little dust coming up off the top side. But Chase Randall, the man they are all chasing, both on the racetrack and in the championship standings. Cade Higday has his sights set on him. Look at the big move by Higday. Higday put a slide for life across 3 and 4. Came up a car length short. Puts her back up on the top of the racetrack now, looking for more down the back straightaway. Chase Randall puts 5 car lengths on Cade Higday, who follows him in on the cushion in 3 and 4. Johnny Anderson right behind him. Brian Brown in tow as they work down the front straightaway. A lap car ahead. We'll see how the leaders handle them. They go to the top of turns 1 and 2. The lapper stays low. Off of turn 2, down the back chute, Randall maneuvering. He'll go up above the slick, find the cushion there. It's a narrow one up on the top side of the racetrack through 3 and 4. Puts a 3 or 4 car lengths on Cade Higday. Johnny Anderson, evenly spaced, finds himself in the 3rd spot. Good run for him. Johnny Anderson, a former feature winner at the Knoxville Raceway, finds himself right there in that 3rd spot. Brian Brown running in that 4th position. Justin Cox is running 5th. Ryan Curtis in the 6th position. Peyton Grease finds himself 7th. Seth Bergman and Chad Morgan now up into the 9th spot. And Caleb Johnson rounding out your top 10 as they roll down the back straightaway on lap number 5 of 40. So 35 to go in this one. A long ways to go. And a guy like Chad Morgan can pick them off as they battle back up front. And the yellow coming back out. Yellow on the racetrack. Well, Krug, with 11 laps in the books, we've seen a lot of guys move from the back of the pack, namely guys like Chad Morgan. The Curtis brothers are marching their way through the field. And there's a lot of racing left to go in this one yet.
Yeah, a long way to go in this one here. Chase Randall looks pretty strong up front right now, but that's going to be a hard spot to hang on to for right now. Of course, Brian Brown and Higday all hanging inside that top 5 right now. It's going to be a great shootout here to the finish with only 12 laps down and a long way to go.
You know, we saw on the first night when Chase Randall picked up the opening night win, one of the things that even Brian Brown commented on in the post-race interview was just how incredibly smooth that youngster is. 15 years old, and he's wheeling that thing around there like a wily old veteran. But if you watch him, when he drives in on the cushion, he's about as smooth as you can find, getting in there on that narrow, thin cushion. There's a good look at that thin cushion up around the top of the racetrack there. So it's going to be tough for anybody to get by him. It's going to have to be a big move as you go in car with Chase Randall pacing down the back chute.
And we saw that cushion be the primary spot in that heat race. I think it was heat race number 3 with Wayne Johnson, Matthew Johnson. Those top 4 cars were all right against that wall there, and that seems to be the case again tonight. Of course, you saw Randall pushing that cushion a little bit as well during the caution laps.
So just a couple more laps to go here, as again, caution laps do count. So we're continuing to click off the laps as they roll around the racetrack. We'll give you your top 10 running order. Chase Randall, the race leader. Johnny Anderson will line up second. Cade Higday third. Brian Brown fourth. And Justin Cox fifth. Lining up in the 6th spot is Ryan Curtis in the car number 18. Seth Bergman behind him in the 7th spot. 9th is Peyton Grease. 8th is Peyton Grease. 9th is Chad Morgan. And Caleb Johnson is 10th. Kelby Watt lines up 11th. Tyler Curtis 12th. Austin Fiala 13th. 14th is Ryan Levitt. Tony Schilling lines up 15th. Matthew Johnson 16th. Dan Henning 17th. Stuart Snyder 18th. And Kevin Swindell in the 19th spot. Coming to green, off turn 4. Randall brings him down, drops the hammer, and we're back underway. Right back to the top for Chase Randall. Nice and easy right around the top of the racetrack. Johnny Anderson looking on there in the 2nd spot. Battle for 3rd now. Down the back straightaway. Cade Higday has it. Brian Brown wants it. Cade Higday, the blue car number 24, running in that 3rd spot. Brian Brown right behind him as they race for the lead in turn 1. Here comes Anderson to the inside. You've got a new leader in turn number 2. Johnny Lightning Anderson strikes in turn number 2, and he'll take the lead down the back chute. Chase Randall in that 2nd spot tries to stay with him. Car gets a little loose up on the cushion, allows Johnny to pull away. Now Brownie sliding through the field. He'll get by Higday as they race into turns 1 and 2. Oh boy, Chase Randall gets the car way sideways, loses 5 spots down the back chute. Here comes Chad Morgan as well, knocking on the door, creeping his way toward the front. How about it? Chad Morgan from the tail to the 3rd spot in the 50 car. Last Thursday night, he won up by a half a lap. Tonight, Brian Brown turns him and puts him on his lid. Gonna be a long day in the shop tomorrow for those two fellas. Johnny Anderson continuing to lead as the caution comes out on the racetrack. Oh my. In the old days, we would have then heard over the radio, send security to the 21 car. But I'm not sure where the security will go tonight.
Right.
I suppose somebody should call the City Hall in Grain Valley tonight and let them know things could be a little bit ugly later on tonight. No, it's all in good fun. Those guys are all racing hard, and everybody's having a good time with this deal, so that's all great. Let's see if we can get a word with our race leader, Johnny Anderson. Johnny, a former winner at the Knoxville Raceway in the real cars, and finds himself on the point here tonight. Johnny Lightning, you've won at the Knoxville Raceway in the real Jack L. Anderson car number 7. Can you do her tonight in the virtual one? Doesn't look like we're going to be able to get him.
You got me now?
Hey, there you are.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Johnny, I said you've went to victory lane in the real Jack L. Anderson auto body car number 7. Can you do her tonight in the virtual car number 7?
We're gonna give it everything we got. We're getting pretty free. We got a lot of fast cars behind us. We'll see what we can do. Try to keep it out of the fence.
Good luck. You got 20 laps to go, and we'll see if we talk to you here in victory lane in just a little bit. Good luck.
Thank you.
Johnny Anderson, the race leader in that car number 7. Justin Cox right behind him. I'm not sure if we're staying under yellow. If we are, let's see if we can get him in the car number 31. We're going to go to green, so we'll try to get him just a little bit. Here we go. Pace truck pulls in, back to the green flag. Johnny brings him down to the stripe. Green is out. Justin Cox right there in the 2nd spot. Cade Higday looking on in 3rd. 3 cars. Oh, they get together. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Trouble in turn number 2. Down the back straightaway. It will definitely shake them up now, as I believe Brian Brown goes to the 2nd spot in the car number 21, but the caution coming back out. Caution coming back out is on that green flag. I believe third on back, third, fourth, and fifth, I believe it was. We're tangled up there coming through the turn. So we'll bring them under caution with 18 laps to go. Johnny Anderson is the race leader. Brian Brown running second. Seth Bergman, Cade Higday in the fourth spot. And Kelby Watt is fifth. Tyler Curtis running sixth. I wish we could speak to him. He came into tonight fourth in the point standings. But let's see if we can get a word quickly with Cade Higday, who lines up in that fourth position. And he's muted as well. Everybody's a little microphone shy after the last couple of weeks of iRacing. probably not for the. That's probably a good idea. Anyway, just about ready to go here once again. I want to thank Tjaden Automotive for presenting tonight's championship Thursday night here at the virtual Knoxville Raceway League. Your point leader coming into tonight, Chase Randall, got in a little trouble there after leading early on. He finds himself 13th now here in the running order with 17 laps to go. Still time for him. There he is, taking a look as he idles down to the inside of turns 3 and 4. Kelby Watt lining up 5th. Tyler Curtis. Tony Schilling is in the 7th spot. Kevin Swindell 8th. He's not in Discord tonight, otherwise we would be getting word with Kevin Swindell. Let's see if we can find someone here that doesn't have their microphone muted. Well, we're going to the green flag. We hear over the radio communication systems from the scoring booth. Race command getting ready to go. Wally Price will bring the pace truck to the infield. Johnny Anderson cinches the belts up just a little bit more. 16 laps remain. As they come off of turn number 4, Brian Brown in second, Seth Bergman, Cade Higday, Kelby Watt, your top 5. Off of turn 4, back to the green. Johnny gets a good start. He'll slide up across turn 1, finds the top of turn number 2. Brian Brown running in that second spot. Right behind him is Seth Bergman. Cade Higday moves back up into the 4th spot in the car number 24, trying to close in. He'll go to the bottom of turns 3 and 4. Car behind him spinning around. We stay green right now. That's Kelby Watt, I believe, the car that turned around. Tony Schilling makes his way up into the 5th spot by virtue of that issue. Side by side for position, nearly 3 wide down the back straightaway as they sort him out in the top 10. Cade Higday now looking to the inside of Seth Bergman for the 3rd spot. Bergman gets back around. They tap wheels going down into the turn. Let's keep a watch on those two cars. Down the back straightaway. Cade Higday on the bottom in the blue car. Seth Bergman in the red car with the silver wing. Cade right behind him now. Bergman beginning to reel in Brian Brown. That'll be the battle for the runner-up spot. Down the front chute. Brownie goes to the bottom. Seth Bergman right through the slick finds the top of the racetrack to try to close in on Brian Brown. Cade Higday now with company in that 4th spot as Kevin Swindell has made his way up into the 5th position. He was early on, way back, almost last, and now has picked his way through the field and finds himself in the 5th position. Kevin Swindell right around the top of the racetrack in that Swindell Speed Labs, car number 39 down the back straightaway. Peyton Grease getting by him in the 55 car. Good battle there in the mid-pack. The top 10 cars continuing to battle it out. Tyler Curtis up into the 7th spot. He started deep in the pack. Now up into the 4th spot is Tyler Curtis in that car number 5. Keep your eye on him. Tyler Curtis from Altoona, Iowa. Normally you would find him working on the McCarl's cars, any one of the 3, on a regular Saturday night at the Knoxville Raceway. He's sponsored by United Sim Sports, Valvoline, Too Easy Finance, and West End Mazda. Tyler Curtis in that 5th spot as Johnny Anderson continues to lead. Boy, he's got nearly a straightaway advantage over Seth Bergman in that 2nd spot. Cade Higday running 3rd, Peyton in the 4th spot. He and Tyler battling it out. Tyler gets back by him for 4th. Peyton back to the 5th position. Tony Schilling in the 6th spot. Brian Brown is running 7th. Kevin Swindell 8th. Chase Randall 9th. And Ryan Curtis, Tyler's brother, running in that 10th spot. A pair of Valvoline cars on the racetrack. The Curtis brothers doing a great job here in sim competition the last 3 weeks. Back up front, that's the battle with Cade Higday for the 3rd spot. Peyton Grease, the black car right behind him in the 4th position. Tyler Curtis looking on as well. Keep your eye on this group of cars as they work into turns 1 and 2. Brownie goes right through the middle, slides up. Around the top side is Curtis. Down the back chute now looking to the outside of Higday. Cade Higday down to the bottom of turns 3 and 4, right around the inside. Tyler Curtis up on the top, leaning on the fence as they roll down the front straightaway. That's the battle for the third spot. Brian Brown in the 5th position, watching those guys duke it out. Tony Schilling running 6th. Kevin Swindell is running in that 7th spot. Peyton Grease, Ryan Curtis, and Chase Randall now to the top 10. Meanwhile, Johnny Anderson on a Sunday drive here on Thursday night, leading the way in that car number 7. Seth Bergman still running in that 2nd spot right there in the red and silver car. Tyler Curtis in that 3rd position in the Valvoline car number 5. Now Brownie gets by him for the 3rd spot. Curtis back to 4th. They swap positions again. That's the battle on the racetrack now worth watching. Brian Brown, Cade Higday, and Tyler Curtis, those 3 cars, 3rd, 4th, and 5th as they work around the back straightaway now, duking it out for the spot. Brown goes to the bottom as they work by lap traffic in turns 3 and 4. Just ahead of Brian Brown is Tyler Curtis in the car number 5. Curtis goes to the cushion. Brown tries to put the slider on him, not quite able to get there. Couple car lengths short of him, but it was a good effort nonetheless as they race down the back chute to the inside of 3 is Brown. Right behind him you see Cade Higday trying to fend for his life in the 5th spot. White flag is out. Final time for Johnny Anderson here on Championship Thursday. He'll take that car down the back straightaway looking for a win here tonight on Virtual Championship off of turn 4. Johnny Anderson returns to victory lane at Knoxville. He'll pick up the win in the car number 7. Great run for him. Seth Bergman coming home in the 2nd spot. Tyler Curtis made the podium here tonight. Good job by him. He'll finish 3rd. Brian Brown 4th. Tony Schilling finishes in the top 5 here tonight. How about that? Boy, what a great race here all night long, Krug. We had great heat races. We had a vicious B-main event. And tonight's feature event was a dandy. And we see Johnny Anderson back to victory.
Absolutely great racing all night tonight. We had a couple of great finishes in the heat races. The main lived up to the hype on here, but man, what a dominant performance by Anderson. As you mentioned, Tony, on a Sunday drive in that one to finish off the night.
Well, I'm not sure we'll be able to get a word with Tyler, our 3rd place finisher here tonight. He's not in Discord yet. We'll come back to him. But let's go get a word with Seth Bergman, who finishes 2nd here tonight. Okay, let's go with our 3rd place finisher here tonight, Tyler Curtis. Tyler, we see him normally working around the McCarls in the pit area, but tonight, my friend, you made the podium. Great run. You marched your way through the field, and you made it look easy here tonight, pal. And he left the building. So we'll try to get a word with a couple of our top 3 guys. Let's see if we can get with Seth Bergman now. Seth comes home in the 2nd spot here tonight. Seth, you came into tonight 5th in the point standings, but you've had each of the 3 weeks, you've had good finishes and another good one here tonight.
Yeah, it's been steady for us. I think I've had a shot at the podium every night we've run this series, so can't complain about that. I feel like I'm just a little short every night, just a little bit more, but the 7 car did a really good job and didn't really make any mistakes and came away with the win, and we ended up 2nd. That should have been probably 2 seconds 2 weeks in a row, but we run out of fuel last weekend.
Well, good job here in the Sim League. I want to ask you, though, how's the real race car? Is it all ready to go? Everything dialed in?
Yeah, it's probably like a lot of people, just sitting there ready to go, just waiting on the word.